Okay, this is Tuesday's live. Probably going to be a short one. I have shit I have to do, and the weather is broken. It's so more ways than one, but it's cooler today, and so it allows me to get some stuff done now that the heat has broken at least for a minute. And it's interesting how this Epstein thing is not going away. That's the shit part about having it all come down during the summer because everyone's talking about it. They want everyone to think that it doesn't bother them and all of that, but the fact is that people just don't like pedophiles. And the fact that they have a bunch of people who they believe are a bunch of pedophiles fucking kids and getting away with it because they're above the law pisses them off. That's basically how all of this is working. And so there's no way to make it go away. None. None. And so, and it's going to keep building. That's the whole thing, is that it's going to keep building. It's going to keep adding to this group's fear and paranoia because the darkness has them, has enveloped them. It owns them. And so the fear and the paranoia is going to get, it's interesting because for whatever reason, for the last few days, the emails have stopped from all of them. You know, I'm counting my blessings right now. Who knows? I'm saying something, and what I say controls their actions. Saki, but um, for the last few days, they've grown quiet, and the reason why is because what I've said to them, they know more than anybody else. They know this situation better than the rest of you. This group eats their own, and they're looking for some fresh meat. They're having to throw some fresh meat. They have to do something to distract from this. So the very group that I have been dealing with has now become a liability. You know? And so this whole child trafficking thing is about ready to get exposed. Because there are plenty of people out there who are looking at this child trafficking bullshit and focusing on the real shit. They're not being distracted by the glamour of the day. The shit that's not real, that takes you down rabbit holes, that takes you nowhere. People have gotten a lot stronger and a lot more secure in what they know. And they're nowhere near as dumb as this group has them out to be. The average person is not stupid. They may not know what to do, but they're at least aware that something needs to be done. And so this child trafficking bullshit is gonna get exposed. Not to mention the shit that's happening in Shelby County, Iowa. You know? What I know is that the darkness is going to bring to them what they fear the most and are most paranoid about. And that's generally exposing the light on their secrets. That's how it works. Whatever they're most afraid of. And it's just like I have said before, I warn people of this all the time. And they never fucking listen. They never do. They have this dumbass grin on their face and they're just dancing around and blah, 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 blah. But that shit stops eventually. It stops. And it's replaced with something that they don't much care for. You know? The whole thing about it is if you play in the dark, and as they say, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It has a second part to it. The greatest men are usually the worst men. That's the other part of that phrase. You know? You serve the light or you serve the dark. Those who serve the light get to go back to the light. Those who serve the dark get to go back to the dark. That's how it's going to fucking work. That's how it's going to work. And you can spin it any way you want. That's how it's going to work. Those who serve the light will go back to the light. And those who serve the dark will go back to the dark. And so, all the shit is coming out. Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff. Now if something happens to that dude that just killed his mistress, Shurter in Erling, questions are going to be asked because now people are focused on it. They just needed to know where to look. And that's how it's working. And so all of this shit, when it starts coming out, what Neil Gross has been involved with, they're going to want to know what Neil knows about the shit that's going on around about me as well. Because chances are Neil Gross knows exactly who the fuck is breaking into my house. Who stole that Dell laptop. I didn't even know it was gone until they started bragging about it. You know? But I bet Neil knows who it is. I bet Neil knows who it is. Who knows why he shot his mistress? He is the sheriff's biggest snitch, I guess, in town. That's what he knows. That's what he is. He's the biggest snitch. He knows about the corruption that's going on. He knows about the corruption. And I'm not saying that the sheriff had anything to do with him fucking killing his mistress in Erling. I'm not saying that. But would they take advantage of it? Oh, sure as fuck. I am. You know? Calling attention to him and letting everyone know the Harlan, Iowa, Shelby County, Iowa Sheriff's biggest snitch, just with his girlfriend, wife, whatever, in Erling, Iowa, just shot his mistress. Fuck. Less than a week ago. No more than a week ago. You know? At a time where they're looking to find out what the corruption is, what's been going on in Shelby County. You know? And all I wanted was nothing happens to that guy. Because if it does now, people are going to start seriously asking fucking questions. They're going to start asking questions. They're already asking questions. All of the shit that I cannot be more grateful to these dumbasses for hanging all those fucking flyers in town with my address and calling me a pedophile with my picture on it and passing them all out. Because now it's all in my head. All of this shit is in my head. That doesn't work anymore. And the fact that there are people in town helping, that's also established. People have already seen. I couldn't have gotten better help than with them passing out those fucking flyers all over town. You know? And so people are aware now of what's going on. They're at least aware that they need to start asking some questions. They're aware of enough to know that they need to start asking some questions. And so, but they're fucking with my numbers again. They're fucking with my numbers because I think this algorithm, if they, as it is, I'm still getting several hundred people watching these videos every time I'm finished. And again, it's not the quantity of people. Most people, I don't give a shit if they know or if they don't know. They ain't gonna do anything. So what difference does it make? It's the people. It's the quality of people in here. You know, it's the quality of people. The Epstein mess is far from over. The Epstein mess is far from over. You know. And as far as the stuff going on in town, with the stuff going on in town, they can negate it all they want. They can negate it all they want. You know? I'm just catching screenshots of this shit. Because it helps to put screenshots. You know? 261. I put gas in the car, it was 261. That was at Sam's Club. Well, with that said, there's no way to stop. Oh, 666. Funny. Oh, I gotta have a screenshot of that. They're just letting me know they're in here. They know they're in here. They can control everything. Everything. They can control all the volcanoes and the earthquakes and what's been going on with the sun. They're in control. They're gods, don't you know? They're gods. They're just so powerful and in control and have everything in hand, you know? The whole thing about it is no one's going to give a fuck about the Epstein shit now. Now it's just about the fucking pedophiles. Eventually, no one's going to give a shit. No one can trust the Epstein files now anyway. They've gone through all of them. How much editing do you think has gone on? I mean, how much had, yeah, but Trump had it first. And my contention is all of the blackmail shit that Epstein had, that Barr got in all of those raids, he gave to Donald Trump. And so that's the reason why Donald Trump has such a hold on so many of the Republicans. Because what? They obviously were more focused on bribing their own, you know? And so the whole thing about it is that who cares about charging Trump? He's rotting from the inside. He fucking smells so bad. He's actually lost it in his head. People now know he's a pedophile. Everyone in the world looks at him as a pedophile. His whole world has crashed down. All of you people look at it as what he offers you. I'm just looking at him as what's happening in his own world right now. His own world. There are so many fucking pictures of Jeffrey Epstein and there's so much weird shit. There's no way to say that it doesn't exist. There's no way to say that it doesn't exist. And what difference does it make? You know, the plates are getting ready to shift. There are volcanoes going off that haven't gone off in 600 years. You know? Well, dude, it takes a certain special someone to talk about wanting to fuck their daughter. And there's plenty of shit where he has said that in interviews. So, and she was a kid. So, you know, the whole thing about it is it needs to be fucking investigated for real. That's what needs to happen. All of these fucking opinions of people who have never met Trump wouldn't be invited in Mar-a-Lago even if they showed up at the fucking door, but they know. They know about their orange pedophile Jesus. And that's the whole thing. Biden was involved with it. Biden was involved with the Clintons. They're all involved with it. Every fucking one of them. You know? Every fucking one of them. And it won't make any difference. Because they're leading. Trump is important, and he was put where he is by God. Because he's the false prophet. He got dumbasses to even put the shit on their foreheads. Willingly. He got them to put shit on their foreheads. And so that's the interesting part about this whole situation. And now the world is getting ready to fucking shift and change. Dumbasses can say, oh, I don't care if California falls into the fucking ocean. But when it does, or it gets decimated by the shit that's happening out there, that's a fourth of if California was a country, it would be the fourth richest country in the world. Without that money, but I know it's about Republicans and Democrats. Oh, if it falls into the ocean, we're giving it to the liberals, you know? And you don't realize that you guys are getting fucked all along, too. And you're just too stupid to see it. You're just too stupid to see it. You have eyes but refuse to see. You have ears but you refuse to hear. You know? And all I'm saying is that the child trafficking bullshit is getting ready to come out. It's getting ready to come out. You know? And they are focused 100% on me, shutting me down. Doug Mesner, Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, has all of his satanic minions focused on me. Sewertown has all of their minions focused on me. Daniel Dowd has all of his minions focused on me. Tom has focused his minions on me for a long time. You know? Dude, I'm not upset. I'm not upset. And I'm not going to have a heart attack. You know? But thank you for being so concerned, asshole. That's the shit that they say. Because it's all fucking government. Who's hiding all of this Epstein stuff now? Fuck Biden. Who's doing it right now? Who's involved in a fucking active cover-up that's right out in the open for everyone to see? Right fucking now. Who's doing it? It's not fucking Biden in charge. Harris didn't get elected president. Pam Bondi doesn't work for fucking Biden. The FBI isn't in charge. Biden isn't in charge of the FBI. Biden isn't in charge of shit. So you can say whatever the fuck you want, but right now, what's happening? There's a cover-up right now, in front of everybody, right now. Right now. And they think that the rest of the fucking country is stupid. And they have a lot of focus on here. You know? I'm not mad. I'm just saying that the pedophile shit is getting ready to be taken care of. With the earthquakes and the volcanoes, it's only going to take one of those super volcanoes to fucking blow shit up in the air. And the sun is superheating the earth. So what the fuck do you think the earth is going to do? It's going to do what it's going to do. It's going to shoot up a fucking volcano or two and shut the sun off for fucking years. That's what happens. That's fucking elementary science. We used to learn that in elementary school. But these dumbasses, Obama's not in fucking charge either. You know? Obama's not in fucking charge either. And right now, again, who's in fucking charge right now? Who's in charge right now? Who could release everything right now? Who could? Not Obama, not Hillary, not Biden. You know? Kamala isn't in charge of, Harris isn't in charge of shit. You know? Oh my God. You guys will just tell yourselves whatever stupid shit. But again, it's the government that's in here. Because all of this was being done by Michael Aquino. Michael Aquino worked with the CIA. Thomas Schoenberger obviously works with the CIA. Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple. Shane Bugbee, who helped him co-found the Satanic Temple, left because Doug Mesner told Shane Bugbee that he was working with the CIA. So all of this child trafficking bullshit that is going on is all CIA. And yes, they will say that Aquino is dead. He shot himself. He's dead. But all of his associates are not. And just because he's dead doesn't mean that whole operation that they had going on that gave them, what, gazillions of dollars a year, you know, is over. It doesn't work that way. Empires go on without their creators, you know. His associates are still very much alive. And all of this child trafficking needs to be looked at. I could give a shit less about Jeffrey Epstein. Because it's all, you want to know what? You want to know what the shit? If you really want to know about the shit with Jeffrey Epstein, then go fucking dig up that goddamn grave on his golf course. Trump's. Because I bet that that's where the shit is in that casket. Because when they carried that casket out, that woman was cremated. But those women, if you look at and see those guys that had a hold of that casket, they could barely carry it. What the fuck was in that casket? It had to be more than her. She was cremated. You know? What's in that casket? If you really want to know. But if it's really about child trafficking, then go after the worker bees. Stop business as usual. That's what needs to stop. If it's really about the kids, that's where it needs to begin. With the business as usual crowd, the worker bees. You expose them and stop them, you're going to slow down. You're at least going to slow it the fuck down. You know? Stop looking for a holy grail that doesn't fucking exist. You know? And even if it did, they've pissed and shit all over the fucking thing. You couldn't trust what you got by this point anyway. You can't trust it. That's what they've done. They've proven they cannot be trusted. And it's the government that's in charge right now. Right now. And that's not Hillary, and that's not Obama, and that's not Biden, and that's not Harris. Right now. Who's in charge right now? It's not fucking rocket science. They're hoping that you'll forget it. They're hoping everyone will forget it. And if you're okay with a bunch of fucking pedophiles, enjoy the fucking dark, because that's where they're leading you. Donald Trump was sent by God. He's the false prophet. He's sent to lead all of his fucking followers right into the goddamn dark. You know? And things are going to get bad. And the dark is going to feed these idiots, and they're going to become more aggressive and more outrageous as time goes on. Because the dark is just finishing up loose ends. As it is here, so it's going to be there. Their shit will be waiting for them. All of it. Because they all work as a group. You know? All of it works as a group. But it needs to be looked at. What Isaac Cappy was trying to expose before he ended up dead, you know, needs to be exposed. And all of these idiots saying, oh, Trump 28, and oh, get help. I brush my teeth all the time, dumbass. And even if I didn't, what difference would it make? You know? Well, life is about ready to end here soon. If the super volcanoes don't get us, the shit that's hurtling towards space will. You better hope that thing that's hurtling through space, they don't know. They're thinking it could be a piece of antimatter. Super volcanoes. Yellowstone is a super volcano. There's 3 volcanoes in California that are super volcanoes that are having issues. That Italy, the volcano in Italy, that's a super volcano. It's already exploding. The volcano that just exploded 2 days ago in Russia, that hasn't exploded in 6,000 years. 600 years. I think it's 6,000. It hasn't gone off in a long time. Maybe it is 600 years. You know? The whole thing about it is that the earth is heating up. The earthquakes are going to continue. The volcanoes are going to continue. You know? The Grand Canyon is on fire right now. Right. It is about racketeering. Cute Puppies is correct. It's not about trafficking. It's about racketeering, corruption, and influence. And they don't care about morality. They don't give a shit about morality. They don't give a fuck about morality, and they have no morality. You know? They have no morality. What you can do is do what you can in your life to fill your hearts with love. Because it is over. It is over. Yes, there are planetary alignments that are all getting ready to happen, and they're all supercharged because our sun is supercharged everything in the entire solar system. So when they connect and get together, when they go into alignment, shit happens. Just like shit happens during a full fucking moon. You know? Do is a huge part of my life. They're directed energy weapons. That's what I was going to say. When I put this on my blog, which I will, I'll put it in the description, I will actually put the NBC News article where the U.S. Air Force went in front of Congress, told them in 2006 that they had these weapons and that they were going to use them on American citizens to show the rest of the world that they were safe. That happened in 2006. I'm also going to put the government paperwork for the directed energy weapons. You know, it's all out there. It's all out there, and I would love to expose their fucking little toys. You know, I would love to expose their fucking toys. I would like to expose them, period. But they're all getting ready to be brought down, and they're all going to be claimed by the dark, and they ain't gonna like it. They ain't gonna like it. And I can't reiterate that enough. I can't reiterate that enough. Death is coming. Death is coming. If, by chance, Russia and Alaska get hit with a super earthquake and it causes a tsunami and takes a huge chunk of California with it, that's not a fucking good thing. And it's going to decimate the economy. And whatever you want to say right now, Trump and his entire administration are filled with a fucking bunch of idiots who don't have the first fucking clue about what they're doing. They know what to say when they get on camera, but to actually do the job that they're supposed to do, they don't have a fucking clue. You know? They don't have a fucking clue. And so things are not going to go well when this shit goes down. It's not going to go well. You know? Who gives a fuck what Kamala would have done? She's not here, is she? It's not. You know? What would happen if fucking Skittles fell from the sky and we were all billionaires? Who the fuck cares? Who gives a shit? You can run down those avenues of thought all you want. But when it comes down to it, what is right in front of you. Right in front of you. Right in front of you. And you'll either see it or you won't see it. That's the whole thing. I just wanted to get this the fuck out of the way. You know? Oh my God. The thing with Trump is he fed your fucking hate. He felt your hate and your superiority, and he fed your egos, and he got you all basically rabid. And now you're rabid at a time that we're in judgment, which is the very wrong time to be rabid. Because what defines what you see for the most, Trump supporters never have enough. Everyone has more than they do, and they need it taken away from them. That's a Trump supporter, and I live in Trump land. You know? That's the reason why so many people are gravitating away from Trump right now. And so that's how it's working right now. Even Republicans are having issues with this whole Epstein thing. And go where? We live on the same fucking planet, dumbass. You know? We live on the same fucking planet. All of their little juvenile arguments, death is coming. When the fucking supervolcano goes out, that is a fucking extinction level event. And there are several that are already having issues. So if one goes off to cool the planet off, because the planet is being cooked by the sun, so that's what the planet does in order to protect itself. But I know it makes everyone uncomfortable and your opinions matter so much to you. And so your opinions are that it'll never happen. It won't happen. Those super volcanoes will never go off. I know they're having issues right now, but it'll all be fine because we live in a Hollywood movie, you know? We're all the heroes. We all get medals for fucking not even competing at all. let alone fucking second place. You know? I'm not ranting. What I'm saying is that the fucking pedophile ring is going down. The pedophile ring is going down. It's going down. And God is taking care of everything. You either have love in your heart, you ascend to the light, or you don't and you get claimed by the fucking dark. That's how it works. That's how it's always worked. We were always told that. Nothing has changed. You know? Oh, I know that they MAGA supporters. I live in MAGA world. Right around the corner is a dude who has a Trump thing out there that he's written JFK Jr. in black marker on the fucking sign. So obviously he's not only MAGA, he's QAnon MAGA. You know? Trust me. I know. I know all about what it's like to live in Trump land. You know? And all of the people who will tell you, oh, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, yeah, it's great. You know? I'm sure that when they get done with the harvest, the dude is going to park his huge Columbine on that big hill again and hang that Mussolini-inspired sign up all over again. That's fucking huge. And it says, Trump was right about everything. But that's not even original. Because Mussolini did something quite like that in World War II. It's the same shit. It's the same fucking Nazi shit. They'll do it right in front of your face and then tell you that you're an idiot. Nazis don't exist. You know? They'll tell you that Nazis don't fucking exist while they're fucking being Nazis. You know? It's just sad. And shit is going to go down. All of those earthquakes, that 8.8 that hit in Russia, with Russia and Alaska, they've had series of deep earthquakes of between 4 and 6s, and it hasn't dissipated. Usually it spreads out, and it hasn't. It's gone on over and over and over. You know? Well, I know that the child traffickers that I'm dealing with are Nazis. I know that the shit that Lucian Greaves, Doug Mesner, founder of the Satanic Temple, was doing to me in Algona was exactly the same shit Richard Spencer was doing in that town in Oregon. Same fucking thing. And same Nazi mentality, same Nazi shit. Let alone that Mesner's whole fucking history is attacking and silencing survivors of ritual abuse. That's what his whole fucking schlick is all about. You know? Going and attacking survivors. And so the whole group that I'm dealing with, I know fucking Aquino was a fucking Nazi. I know the shit that was going on in Hummel Park and Offutt Air Force Base when I was a kid. That was all fucking Nazi. You know? I'm not doing this for clicks and responses. Sometimes I even have the shit off, dumbass. But you do whatever you need to do to dismiss me in your mind, because that's all it works, is in your mind alone. You know? And in the real world where we live, all the shit that's going down in Shelby County, they know. People know about that snitch. They know about all the corruption. They know about the fucking meth. They know about all the shit that's going on. And now, thanks to their flyers that they passed out all over town, everybody is well aware of what I'm involved with and what I've been trying to do. Everyone fucking knows. And it's having an effect. You know? It's having an effect. Neil Gross will be the albatross that brings them all fucking down. Their own gatekeeper is going to be the one who drags them all into this shit. And their child trafficking bullshit is going to fucking be exposed. Before all this shit goes down, before the world ends, their shit's going to be exposed. That's a promise that heaven has made, and heaven doesn't negate its promises. Never goes back on them. always fulfills them. Their shit is getting ready to come out, and there's not a fucking thing they can do to stop it. You know? I don't know. But Neil Gross is going to be the albatross that hangs on their neck. When they find out about Neil's corruption, it's going to lead them all to my shit. That Neil has all the shit. Him and his whole fucking department, because I send it all to him. You know? And it's going to lead to this fucking group of child traffickers. You know? It's going to lead to Thomas Schoenberger and Daniel Dowd and Tara Joyce and Corey Daniel and Geo Farnsworth. Probably will lead to fucking Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, because he was the one involved with the Erlin, Iowa gas station explosion. Leads them all to Thomas and to Gabe Hoffman. I wouldn't be surprised if Aquino's somewhere involved with that, because I don't think he's dead. You know? All of Sewertown. All of the worker bees that have been involved with all of this child trafficking. Not just with me, with Isaac Cappy. And Max Spears. And Lori King. And all the things that fucking Lucian Greaves, founder of the Satanic Temple, all of the shit they've been involved with. Because it's their Satanic Temple after school daycare that they're using to target the fucking kids. That's what's happening. You know? And I think it needs to be investigated. It needs to at least be looked at. And not pooed by a bunch of dumbasses who make fucking comments anonymously in a chat on YouTube. But it's who watches this shit. I'm just planting seeds. But I know that there are people out there that are looking to actually make a name for themselves and get the big story. And I'd be willing to bet there's more than one that actually has interest in what all this shit is going on. That's what I bet good money on it. And that's who I need. You know? I love the movie V for Vengeance. I love that movie. I identify a lot with that movie. And so it was interesting I'm not doing any more interviews with anyone. I'm not doing anything that I don't have fucking control over because I'm not going through the editing bullshit. You know? Did that with Fiona for years. V for Vendetta. You know? There's a lot of shit. Look at what's been going on in the world and compare it to that movie. You know? I think that it's just... We're at a point where things are about to change drastically. It has nothing to do. It has everything to do with America. It is based in Britain, but it has everything to do with what's going on in America. You know? Everything that's happened in America. Watch V for Vendetta. You will identify a lot in America. You know? And so... they're fighting for a world that is about ready to burn away. And they're going to lose their souls in the process. Because they do not have eyes that see, nor do they have ears that hear. They don't want to fucking know. They don't want to fucking know. And if you're one of them, more power to you. You ain't going to like where you end up. But it's all a choice. All of it is a choice. And you can't say that you weren't told otherwise. You know? The 5th of November, it's not everything identifies in that fucking movie is American, obviously. But the fascist bullshit, the way the media feeds everything, that's all identical to what's happening in fucking America. You know? All of it is dealing with it. Is there someone out there who's been burned alive that actually is alive and a superhero and all out swords and stuff like that? Fuck no. Is it a real goddamn story? Is it a real... Is it based on truth? Fuck no. You know? But there's still things that are pretty identical to what's going on. Because it's about fascism and the takeover of fascism. That's what happens for Viva Vendetta. They get stuck with fascism and how they have to live their life and what the media does and all of the shit, you know? But it's beside the point. Who gives a shit? It's only going to take one fucking super volcano. Shit, we just need a super volcano where they're already having that cluster to cause a fucking tsunami to take out a bunch of shit. You know? We're on the verge of life changing drastically for all of us. And you can either be like these dumbasses and tell yourself whatever the fuck you need to in order to sleep at night, or you can consider that there hopefully is something beyond this, and maybe you might want to take that into consideration right now. You know? We are all mortal, you know? But our souls are going to go one way or the other. That's how it's going to work. And if you want to follow these dumbasses who are fucking sheep, who are just fed in the derision and the hate and the what about them and oh my god, it's okay because what about them and all that, you know? No, I'm an American, and no, I'm not a Nazi. It doesn't make it. What difference does that make? You know? What difference does it fucking make? Fascism is fucking fascism. And those who actually participate in fascism are fucking Nazis. That's how it works. And what they want in America is for fascism to exist. But in the same time, this group wants fascism, they also want to fuck your kids. Because they're all about pedophiles and helping out pedophiles. Obviously, Maxwell wasn't even supposed to go to the jail that she's in now. It doesn't even, that doesn't happen. So it's only a matter of time before she's pardoned, you know? And it's all happening right now, you know? It's all happening right now. And it's not about fucking Obama. It's not about Kamala Harris. It's about who's in fucking charge right now. Unless you live in yesterday or tomorrow, now is what counts. And it is the government now that's doing this shit. Now. As a whole. Now. So who's doing it now? Openly. Now. With their fascism, you give up your kids. And that's the whole thing. And they obviously like pedophiles. You know? Nobody can stop an extinction level event. What you can do is fucking hope that you get your soul through it so you don't get claimed by the fucking dark. That's the whole fucking key. So you go do whatever the fuck it is you're going to do, because that's exactly what you're going to do anyway. You know? That's exactly what you're going to do. Is whatever the fuck it is you want to do. And you just don't care. You know? And that's fine. That's fine. It's just not going to take you where you think it's going to take you. And you can't say you weren't warned. This pedophile shit isn't going away. This whole shit isn't going away. You know? It's actually spurring people in ways, you know? I'm well known for what I've been dealing with. For child trafficking. Wrote a fucking book. Published a book. Have a blog. Been at this for years. You know? I've been at this child trafficking bullshit for years. You know? But with that said, I'm not going to spend my whole day arguing. God, I have shit to do. And I'm in such a good mood. It's such a nice day out. And all of this is getting ready to fucking end. And their dumbasses are getting ready to be fucking claimed. And fucking hallelujah. That's all I can say. Fucking hallelujah. And they ain't gonna fucking like the dark. They can run their mouths right now. They can dance around like fucking idiots. They can do whatever the fuck it is they want to do, but they ain't gonna fucking like the dark. And they better hope they can fucking live forever, because the second after they've inhaled their last breath, that's where they end up. You know? That's where they fucking end up. Along with everybody who doesn't have fucking love in your heart. Because you have to choose to have love in your heart right now. You have to choose to have love in your heart. It just doesn't happen. Even for those who it used to just happen, it doesn't happen anymore. You have to choose. And if you're not choosing that every day, all the day, I'm in this because I chose heaven. I'm supposed to do what I'm supposed to do, and it has not been easy. These motherfuckers break into my house whenever the fuck they want. They threaten me. They threaten my dogs. It's been a nightmare to deal with these motherfuckers. You know? It hasn't been easy, but I do it because I'm obedient and I love God. And I will continue doing what I'm doing because it needs to be exposed. And I have an obligation. And I will not let up on that obligation. You know? Obviously, the same people who are involved with passing out flyers around my town with my address, my picture, and calling me a fucking pedophile. You know? The Oompa Loompa meth head and the tiny dude from another country. At least those two. And the reason why I know it is because they brag about it and laugh in my face about it. Knowing that Neil Gross ain't going to do shit. You know? Knowing that Neil Gross ain't going to do shit. So, but they broke in, stole a fucking laptop I didn't even know was gone until they bragged about it. Then I went downstairs and was just like, oh yeah. They just come into my house and do whatever the fuck they want whenever they want. That's how it fucking works. You know? And they want me to know. They want me to know. Because it's all about harassment. I'm supposed to lose hope. Oh my God. All it is them. There's no way to escape them. But what makes all of this okay for me is that I realize in the end, after all this is over, everything they've done to me gets to be returned to them. Not only does it get to be returned to them, but it gets to be amplified. That's what gets ready to happen. You know? It gets to be amplified, and then they get to walk in my shoes for the next eternity. But since they're so much more superior than me, and so much more than me, period, of course the tests have been amplified, because of course they're gods, and they're just... So of course that it would be an insult if heaven tested them the same way they've tested me, because they're so much more superior. So heaven is going to give them their own tests. And they ain't going to fucking like what's getting ready to happen in the goddamn dark. They're not going to like it. And they can't say they weren't warned. They can't say they weren't warned. And all this shit that they're doing to me, it's only a matter of time, motherfuckers. It's only a matter of time. One of those fucking super volcanoes goes off for real, it will block out the sun for at least 5 years. And that's if just one goes off. If more goes off, God only knows how long it'll take. Nothing's gonna fucking grow. Without the fucking sun, nothing grows. Things die. That's how it fucking works. And it's a natural occurrence with the planet. You know? This used to be taught in elementary grade school. I don't know what they teach anymore. But obviously, the shit is not the same. Either coast gets hit with a fucking tsunami or gets destroyed. New Jersey just had a fucking 3.3, and they don't even get earthquakes. You know? It's going to bring everything down. And who's running things are not going to be able to figure it the fuck out. You know? I would consider thinking about your soul. I would consider thinking about your soul. The motherfuckers around me, they're not going to do shit. They're so invested in their ego and being right and feeling strong as they poke people with sticks from the shadows, and they feel strong and powerful with that. You can't, there's nothing is going to get through to these dumbasses. Just try to make sure that you're not one of those, not one of them, you know? I'm trusting in God completely, but I have my place. But thank you, as someone brand new who comes in basically anonymously, I've been on here for 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, you've actually figured out my whole fucking purpose and know that my spiritual path is wrong. And you have a better idea of what my spiritual path is. As someone who's never met me, hasn't gone through any of the shit that I've gone through, but you fucking know. And you think that that's worthy of respect, do you? You may have eyes, but you do not see. You may have ears, but you do not hear. And the lights may be on, but what I have found is that no one is at home. Because you're all so busy looking at what you want and what you don't have and what you need and what you want. That's the whole thing. That's the whole thing, you know? So, whatever. Choose whatever you want. You will anyway. There's really no skin off my back. At all. And most of you, honestly, unfortunately, will choose poorly.